Have you ever slowed down and paid attention to the creativity of God? You know, He's so big and He makes these gigantic oceans. And He made some trees up in Northern California and other places that are so big you can drive a car through them. And yet, He focuses on small flowers, tiny little things that we don't even notice. And He put His full energy into them. He made rolling hills and forests and mountains and deserts. And every human being He made different. He made us all in different sizes, different shapes, different colors. We speak different ways. We have different DNA. Our dialects, even from the same towns, are different sometimes. And every snowflake, trillions and trillions and trillions of snowflakes, absolutely uncountable. Every one of them different. And when's the last time you looked at the Grand Canyon? Have you ever taken a trip there? It's amazing, the creativity of God. One of my favorite things to do is to go sit at the ocean on the West Coast and watch the sunset. I've got pictures of dozens of those sunsets, and almost every one of them are different. It's as if every day God decides to give us a different presentation than the day before. And what's amazing about that is that God put His creativity in man. He gave us musical creativity to create some of the greatest pieces you can imagine that really change the way that you feel about something. We do amazing things like build the Hoover Dam. A picture of this lake right here is in my community. And it was just a desert, and a guy had a vision to dig a hole and put water in it. Look how beautiful it is. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but downtown Chicago might be the epicenter of human creativity with all the buildings and the way that they built them right on the lake, right as it goes through town. So are you creative? I've asked people in small venues and large venues all over the place, are you creative? And ask them to raise their hands, and very few people raise their hand. It seems like most people think that creativity is reserved for the singer or the dancer or the songwriter or the script writer or the actor or the technologist who really knows a lot. But I want to help you understand creativity a little bit more. You see, I want to ask you a couple questions, and that'll help you. Ready? Question number one. Who's the most creative being of all time? It's God, right? And in whose image are we made? In God's image. So we are made by God, the Creator, in His image of Creator God. So doesn't it stand to reason that we would be creative? Not just some people, but all of us. And doesn't it also sound to reason that the more like God we become, the more creative we naturally become? You see, it is your destiny and it is my destiny to be creative and to see the world in great and amazing creative ways and to paint better and better pictures of who God is in everything that we do. You see, it's not okay, folks. It's not okay for you to just live life boring and to go through the motions day after day after day and do the same things over and over and over again in the same ways. And it's not okay for us to create worship services that are just the same over and over and over again. You see, that's living outside of our created purpose. It's living outside of who we really are, because who we really are is creative. We've got the greatest story ever told, and we've got the creativity from God to tell that story. So our lives and the way that we talk about God in a worship setting should always be creative and amazing and great and more beautiful all along. You say, well, hey, I've got no money, I've got no people, I've got no building, I've got nothing that I need to be creative. Well, you know what? You get to be more creative. You get to step out there even more and be more creative because you've got kind of some things to get over, some hurdles to get over. And I would much rather be in that setting than I would be with all the stuff, because you get to actually seek God even more on creativity. So today we're going to talk about this value of creativity. And I want to remind you, it's a value. We talked about the value of excellence. Now we talk about the value of creativity. And values are barriers, they're boundaries. We can't get outside of creativity. We have to live on the road of creativity in order to get to our goal of going to God and taking other people with us. So we're going to live in this creativity. We're going to learn more about it. We're going to give you some things to do to spur on your creativity. And then we're going to give you some principles, some guidelines on how to approach creativity so that you and your team are walking in it in the same path, okay? So have fun with that today. Be creative. We'll talk to you next time.